As we approach Christmas, the cosmic energy is in full swing, and the astrological influences are no exception. Christmas Eve, December 24th, and Christmas Day, December 25th, will be charged with some intense energetic shifts, primarily due to the tension among the planets. The alignment of these celestial bodies will undoubtedly have an impact on our emotional states and interactions, whether we're aware of it or not. It's a time to be conscious of the astral forces at play, as they could amplify existing tensions or stir up subconscious energies. Have you ever noticed how certain days feel more charged than others? That's the moon, planets, and the sun working in subtle, powerful ways. So, when these cosmic influences peak, it's essential to pay attention, especially with family and friends where emotions can run high. While the holiday season typically brings a sense of joy and togetherness, the astrology behind these days suggests that this year may feel a bit different. There's an undercurrent of tension that will influence how we interact with one another. Whether it's the family dinner or a quiet moment by the fire, the planets are pushing us to confront deeper emotions, which may come to the surface unexpectedly. When the energy is heightened like this, our internal worlds can feel more intense, and interactions might feel more emotionally charged. Understanding the cosmic setup during these days can help us navigate this surge in emotional energy. Knowing that the stars are aligning to test our patience and emotional boundaries can give us a more mindful approach to how we respond to challenges. The sun, moon, and planets will create a more intense backdrop for personal reflection and growth during this time. While Christmas is typically about connecting with loved ones, it also serves as an opportunity to connect with yourself on a deeper level. For instance, have you ever noticed how your emotions sometimes get the best of you around this time of year? That's the moon and the other cosmic influences pulling on your emotional core. It might feel like the perfect moment to resolve conflicts, set intentions, or let go of past baggage. The energy is ripe for both healing and transformation, but only if you're willing to embrace the tension and work through it consciously. Do you feel the intensity building as the holiday approaches? This cosmic backdrop asks you to be both aware of the emotional currents swirling around you and to understand how to manage them. It's an opportunity to turn potential challenges into growth experiences, especially with those who are close to you. So, how will you respond to this heightened energy? Will you take it as a chance for deeper connection, or will you let the tension take the lead? As the clock ticks toward 5:30 p.m. on December 24th, an intense celestial shift takes place. The moon moves from Libra into Scorpio, setting the stage for a deep emotional transformation. Libra, known for its balance and diplomacy, gives way to the intense, probing energy of Scorpio. This change can bring about a dramatic shift in the emotional tone of the evening. The smooth flow of Libra's energy fades, replaced by Scorpio's need for truth, depth, and authenticity. It's a perfect moment for self-reflection, but also a time when hidden emotions, such as fear, trauma, and even anger, can rise to the surface unexpectedly. This is where things can get a little uncomfortable, but it's also an opportunity to face these emotions head-on. With the moon in Scorpio and forming a square with Pluto, the planet of transformation and hidden truths, the emotional intensity increases. Pluto's influence brings a potent energy that urges us to dig deeper into our subconscious. It's like a spotlight shining on those unresolved feelings you may have tucked away. You might find yourself reflecting on past experiences that have long been buried. These emotions may feel overwhelming, but they are being brought up for a reason. Pluto's role is to push for growth, and while the process can be uncomfortable, it often leads to powerful healing. Scorpio's emotional depth combined with Pluto's transformative power can help you uncover long-held truths about yourself, if you're brave enough to face them. During this time, you might notice that old wounds or unresolved conflicts with family members start to surface. Whether it's an argument from the past or an old grudge that you thought was long gone, Scorpio's energy doesn't let things stay hidden for long. The emotions that come up may feel sharp, but they're often linked to something you need to process in order to move forward. The moon's movement through Scorpio creates an opportunity for catharsis, a release of pent-up emotions that have been simmering beneath the surface. Think about the last time you felt a deep emotional reaction to something. What was it really about? These are the types of questions you might find yourself asking as the Scorpio energy urges you to look inward. It's not just about facing personal fears or emotional baggage, though. This energy also asks you to confront fears and insecurities that might be impacting your relationships with others. Do you have unresolved feelings towards family members? Or maybe there's something from your past that you've avoided addressing. With the moon's shift into Scorpio and Pluto's intense square, now is the time to bring those emotions into the light. If you can channel this energy productively, it can lead to significant breakthroughs in your emotional life, particularly in how you relate to others. Take a moment to reflect on these deeper emotional currents, and don't shy away from uncomfortable truths. As the day progresses, you may feel an increasing need to retreat or withdraw from the world. Scorpio's influence often makes us want to go inward, to process and reflect. While some may choose to bury these emotions or pretend they don't exist, the most powerful thing you can do during this time is to embrace the energy and explore it. Ask yourself what you're truly feeling and give yourself permission to release any pent-up emotions. You might find that journaling, meditating, or even talking to a trusted friend can help you navigate these deeper waters. The energy of this moment isn't here to overwhelm you, it's here to help you grow, if you allow it. As the clock strikes 11:50 p.m. on December 24th, the emotional tension reaches a new height. The moon, now deep in Scorpio, forms a tense square with Mars, the planet of action and aggression. This aspect can feel like a pressure cooker, as it amplifies our emotional responses and can make us react more impulsively than usual. Mars, known for its fiery, impulsive energy, influences us to act before thinking, especially when our emotions are running high. In the calm of the evening, you might find that small irritations turn into big confrontations, or that things that would usually roll off your back start to feel like major issues. With the moon in Scorpio, a sign that thrives on emotional depth and intensity, the interaction with Mars brings even more fuel to the fire. It's as if the emotional undercurrents of the day have been building and now at this late hour, they're ready to erupt. Scorpio's energy already urges us to dive deep into our emotions, but Mars adds an extra layer of intensity. You might notice that you're quicker to anger or frustration, especially over things that don't usually bother you. The key here is recognizing that this isn't just about external triggers. It's about how you're responding internally to the world around you. It's a time when emotional outbursts can feel almost inevitable, but they don't have to be. To navigate this energy, it's crucial to be aware of your emotional state before reacting. If you feel the urge to lash out, take a deep breath and give yourself a moment to pause. The Moon and Mars square can amplify tension in family dynamics, particularly if there are unresolved issues or long-standing frustrations. This is the perfect moment to practice emotional regulation. Rather than reacting impulsively, try to channel that intense energy into something productive. A good outlet might be physical activity, something like a late-night walk or even a session of yoga or stretching, to release that tension in a healthy way. Sometimes, though, the best thing you can do during a Moon-Mars square is simply to step back. Mars can make us feel the need to confront issues head-on, but with the Moon in Scorpio, you might find that it's more beneficial to let some things slide. Not every fight needs to be fought, and not every emotional outburst needs to be acted on. By recognizing the heightened tension in the air, you can give yourself permission to step away from any situation that feels too emotionally charged. This isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about choosing your battles wisely and taking care of your mental and emotional health. As this tense energy lingers throughout the late evening, you may find that you're more sensitive to criticism or quick to take offense. Remember that Mars energy encourages us to defend ourselves, often aggressively. While this may feel like the right instinct, it can lead to unnecessary conflict. Try to see any criticism as an opportunity for growth, rather than an attack. It might be worth reflecting on how you handle emotional tension in general. Are you quick to respond, or do you take a more measured approach? This dynamic can serve as a valuable lesson in self-awareness, helping you fine-tune how you express your emotions, especially in the heat of the moment. As the night unfolds, the heightened emotional energy from the cosmic alignments calls for caution in how we navigate our interactions. With the Moon squaring Mars and Pluto, the atmosphere is charged with emotional tension. In family gatherings, this becomes particularly relevant. The last thing anyone needs is to open a can of worms with a heated debate on politics or other sensitive subjects. The energy of the moment is just too volatile for such discussions, and they can quickly spiral out of control, leaving everyone frustrated or worse, alienated. While conversations can be rich and engaging, timing is everything, and the astrological weather suggests steering clear of touchy topics for the sake of peace. The tendency to dive into controversial discussions can be tempting, especially when we're surrounded by people we feel comfortable with. However, the tension in the air is like a storm ready to burst. Just as the moon's position in Scorpio emphasizes deep emotional currents, Mars' influence can amplify our desire to stand our ground, even at the risk of alienating others. But in these situations, it's better to take a step back and ask yourself, is this conversation really worth it right now? The energy of the evening might be better served by lighter, more positive topics that connect rather than divide. Remember, when emotions are running high, it's easier to trigger reactions that we later regret. This doesn't mean avoiding real conversations altogether. It's about choosing the right moments and the right words. If a family member brings up politics or other heated topics, gently redirecting the conversation is a powerful tool. For instance, you could steer the discussion toward shared memories or positive plans for the upcoming year. Focus on building bonds and strengthening relationships, rather than testing boundaries. Think of it as a strategic maneuver in navigating the emotional landscape of your family dynamic. You might even find that this redirect helps others relax and enjoy the time together rather than becoming bogged down by tension. It's also worth noting that avoiding controversial topics doesn't imply hiding your beliefs or silencing your voice. The Moon and Mars square simply suggests that it's not the ideal moment to push your views aggressively. There's always a time and place for sharing your perspective, but during these emotionally charged moments, it's wiser to engage in discussions that uplift and create a sense of unity. In essence, you're choosing emotional harmony over potential conflict, which can be a powerful tool in maintaining positive relationships, especially during family gatherings. So, the next time the conversation takes a heated turn, take a breath and assess the situation. Can the topic wait for another time when emotions are more balanced? Is it possible to express your opinion without raising the emotional temperature in the room? By practicing emotional intelligence, you can be the one who steers the conversation in a way that fosters connection, rather than division. And as the night winds down, you'll find yourself feeling more at ease, knowing that you've avoided unnecessary drama in favor of a peaceful and meaningful gathering. As we move through the Christmas period, Mercury in Sagittarius adds an intriguing layer to the energy of the season. Although Mercury has left its retrograde phase, its influence still lingers, particularly in the realm of communication. In Sagittarius, the planet of communication amplifies a thirst for knowledge, exploration, and truth. However, this can sometimes result in overzealous attempts to convince others of our personal beliefs or viewpoints. Imagine being at a family dinner and suddenly finding yourself in a passionate debate about a topic you feel strongly about. You might feel like it's your duty to enlighten everyone around you, but this energy can quickly turn into an overwhelming force. The problem lies in the fact that Mercury, when in Sagittarius, often operates without a filter, driven by excitement and a sense of higher purpose. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that our opinions are not just valid, but necessary for others to adopt. And while enthusiasm for our ideas can be inspiring, it can also come off as fanatical or one-sided. The cosmic alignment encourages us to remember that there's a difference between sharing insights and imposing our views on others. During family gatherings, this is particularly relevant, as there's a fine line between engaging in a meaningful discussion and dominating the conversation with our beliefs. Think of it this way. You're in a room filled with people from diverse walks of life, each with their own experiences and perspectives. While Mercury in Sagittarius invites you to be bold and share your thoughts, it also asks you to exercise patience and discernment. Instead of trying to convince others of the rightness of your views, why not take the opportunity to listen? Sometimes the most profound connections are made when we step back and allow others to speak their truth. By doing this, we honor the diversity of thought around us, creating a more balanced and harmonious atmosphere. However, this doesn't mean silencing yourself or withholding your ideas. Instead, it's about presenting your thoughts with a sense of humility and respect for others' perspectives. If you feel passionate about something, share it, but do so with the intention of inspiring curiosity rather than creating conflict. The key here is to engage in conversations that promote growth, not division. So instead of pushing your views onto others, consider inviting open dialogue. Ask questions that encourage reflection rather than insisting on immediate agreement. Lastly, keep in mind that Mercury's influence will linger until December 25th, meaning that the temptation to overstate our opinions can remain for a while. So, as the days unfold, be mindful of how you communicate. Are you coming across as open-minded and curious, or are you forcing your viewpoint? Being conscious of this dynamic can help you navigate conversations with grace, ensuring that your words contribute to connection rather than confusion or conflict. As December 25th unfolds, the emotional landscape remains highly charged, with the moon continuing its tense aspects with Mars and Pluto. With the moon in Scorpio, there's a deep, almost magnetic pull toward the hidden aspects of our emotions, which can stir up powerful undercurrents of passion, desire, and fear. Scorpio's influence brings to the surface the things we tend to bury, the unresolved traumas, the secret hopes, and the hidden motivations that shape our actions. It's as if the emotional energy is no longer content to stay in the background. Instead, it demands to be acknowledged, processed, and integrated. For many, this can feel like a weighty emotional intensity, one that requires great awareness to navigate. When the moon is in Scorpio, the emotional realm becomes more complicated, and the tension with Mars and Pluto amplifies these complexities. With Mars adding fuel to the fire, impulsivity and aggression can easily arise, making it a day where tempers could flare and conversations could escalate unexpectedly. This is not the ideal time for rash decisions or taking things at face value. Instead, Scorpio's energy calls for emotional depth and introspection. It's an invitation to not just react to the surface-level drama, but to dig deeper to understand the root causes of our emotions and reactions. It's a chance to transform inner conflict into personal growth, if approached with awareness. In practical terms, this means being extra mindful of your emotional responses throughout the day. If you're feeling triggered or if conversations take an uncomfortable turn, take a moment to breathe and assess what's truly at play. Are you reacting out of fear, past wounds, or unspoken desires? Recognizing the deeper layers of your emotional experience can help you prevent unnecessary conflicts. For example, instead of lashing out in anger, take a step back and ask yourself, what part of me feels threatened right now? This pause can create space for clarity, and in turn, you may find yourself responding with wisdom rather than reacting impulsively. The intense emotional energy on December 25th also offers an opportunity for transformation. Just as Scorpio is associated with deep change and rebirth, these challenging moments can be the catalyst for shedding old emotional patterns. If you've been carrying around emotional baggage or unresolved feelings, this might be the day when you can finally release them. It's like an emotional detox. By embracing the discomfort and allowing yourself to feel everything fully, you open the door to healing. Remember, transformation isn't always a smooth process. Sometimes, it requires us to confront the darkest parts of ourselves before we can emerge stronger. While the day might feel emotionally intense, there's power in this energy if it's channeled properly. Rather than letting the tension control you, consider using it as fuel for self-discovery and growth. Deep emotional work can lead to profound breakthroughs, especially when we consciously choose to lean into the discomfort. So instead of resisting or avoiding the emotional depth that Scorpio brings, use it as a tool to become more self-aware, more compassionate, and ultimately more connected to your own truth. As we move further into December 25th, the astrological influences become even more challenging, particularly in the realm of communication. The opposition between Mercury and Jupiter, along with the square between Mercury and Saturn, creates a tense and confusing energy in our interactions. The Mercury-Jupiter opposition may push us to speak impulsively, overflowing with ideas and opinions, but without much thought for the consequences. The urge to express ourselves loudly and confidently can feel overwhelming, as if we're bursting with knowledge that we desperately need to share. However, this can lead to overstatements, exaggerations, and even misunderstandings. It's as if we might say more than we mean, or say it in a way that isn't as well received as we'd hoped. On the flip side, the Mercury-Saturn square adds an element of emotional coldness and distance to our conversations. While the Mercury-Jupiter opposition urges us to overshare, Saturn's influence makes it difficult to connect on a deeper level. This combination can cause us to feel either disconnected or overly cautious in our exchanges. The fear of saying the wrong thing or being misunderstood might make us withdraw into silence, or we may struggle to communicate our true thoughts and feelings effectively. As a result, conversations can feel dry, mechanical, or devoid of warmth, as if we're going through the motions without really engaging. This duality between impulsive, over-the-top communication and emotionally distant dialogue is a prime opportunity for introspection. It's essential to be mindful of how you communicate during this period, especially when emotions are running high and the potential for misunderstanding is increased. Consider taking a moment before speaking, especially if you feel the urge to speak hastily. Ask yourself, is this truly how I want to express myself, or am I reacting to the energy of the moment? By taking this pause, you can ensure that your words align more closely with your intentions, rather than simply being a reaction to the astrological tensions at play. One practical step to navigate these energies is to practice active listening. This means giving others the space to express themselves without jumping in with your own thoughts too quickly. During this period, a little patience goes a long way. If you're engaging in a conversation and notice yourself getting either too excited or too withdrawn, consciously choose to slow down. Ask open-ended questions that encourage the other person to share more, and take a few seconds before responding to fully process their words. This can help create a more balanced and connected exchange, even amidst the astrological turbulence. Lastly, the combination of these aspects encourages us to find a middle ground between overexpressing and undercommunicating. Both extremes can cause tension, but by striking a balance, we can engage in more thoughtful, meaningful exchanges. The goal isn't to suppress our thoughts or stifle our excitement, but to communicate with intention and awareness. If we can find this balance, the day can become one of profound insights, where our words carry weight and significance and our connections deepen. In times of cosmic tension like those surrounding Christmas 2024, it's easy to get swept up in the energy of the moment, reacting with heightened emotions and sometimes even conflict. But the speaker offers a powerful reminder. While the astrological influences may push us into turbulent waters, we can choose to navigate them with a focus on spiritual unity and positivity. Rather than succumbing to the negative undercurrents, the speaker encourages us to tap into the shared energy of the collective. Imagine how much more powerful it would be if, instead of focusing on disagreements or frustrations, we focused on common ground, shared goals, and collective healing. This is where our thoughts, words, and actions hold immense power, because they ripple outward and affect the larger world. Astrology teaches us that our individual energy doesn't exist in a vacuum. The planet's movements influence us, but we, too, influence the world around us. Just as a single raindrop creates ripples on the surface of a pond, our inner energy, our thoughts, feelings, and actions, have the power to influence the collective energy. On a day like Christmas, where emotions are already running high, the energy we put out can either amplify the stress and discord or contribute to a wave of healing and understanding. The speaker reminds us that this is a time to be mindful of the energy we bring into every room, every conversation, every interaction. Whether we realize it or not, we are all connected and our vibrations matter. The idea of spiritual unity doesn't just mean focusing on the positive in abstract terms. It also involves recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings. When we look around, especially during family gatherings or social events, it's easy to see differences in opinion, values, or emotions. However, the speaker asks us to look deeper. Beneath all of the surface-level distinctions, we share a fundamental bond, and it is this connection that can help us bridge gaps. Rather than letting those differences drive us apart, we can use them as an opportunity to deepen our understanding of one another and build unity. This shift in perspective can radically transform how we experience these days, turning potential points of friction into moments of deep connection. To apply this in a practical way, consider taking a moment before entering any gathering or interaction to center yourself. Take a few deep breaths, calm your mind, and set an intention to bring positivity and unity into the space. This simple act of grounding yourself can have a profound effect, allowing you to be more mindful of your words and actions. By focusing on what unites us rather than what divides us, you can lead by example, shifting the energy around you. If everyone adopts this mindset, the entire environment becomes charged with a collective sense of peace and connection, despite any external challenges. At the heart of this message is the undeniable truth that we are powerful creators of our reality. Every thought, word, and emotion has a ripple effect, and we are never truly separate from the world around us. During this season, especially as the world seems divided or tense, we can choose to be a source of healing energy. By embodying spiritual unity and positivity, we contribute to a global shift, helping to elevate the collective consciousness. This isn't just about surviving the holidays. It's about using the astrological energy to transform the way we relate to each other and the world at large. As the cosmic forces continue to unfold during Christmas 2024, the alignment of Mercury with Jupiter and Saturn presents a unique challenge for communication. Mercury, the planet of communication, intellect, and expression, is in a tense opposition with expansive Jupiter and is square with restrictive Saturn. These aspects are like two sides of the same coin, pulling us in different directions. On one hand, the Mercury-Jupiter opposition can amplify our desire to speak freely, express grand ideas, or even make promises we're not ready to keep. On the other hand, the Mercury-Saturn square can lead to overly critical or detached communication, leaving us feeling misunderstood or disconnected. Navigating these energies requires careful awareness of how we express ourselves. In practical terms, this means that conversations could easily swing from one extreme to the other. One minute, you may find yourself enthusiastically sharing your ideas and philosophies with others, almost overwhelmed by the need to communicate. You might feel like you have so much to say, but the words are coming out too quickly without giving others a chance to absorb or respond. In these moments, it's important to take a step back and ask, is this the right time to share? Is this the right place to speak? The challenge is to find a balance between expressing yourself and giving others space to engage. If you feel the pull of overzealous communication, try pausing, breathing, and refocusing before continuing. Conversely, the Mercury-Saturn square brings a more critical energy to communication, especially when emotions run high. In this aspect, there's a tendency to be cold, distant, or even harsh in our interactions. You may find yourself withholding your thoughts or coming off as overly serious or even judgmental. The key here is to recognize when the energy is pushing you toward a more detached or critical response and then consciously choose a different approach. Instead of reacting from a place of fear or doubt, try to engage from a place of empathy and understanding. Even if you're feeling distant, try to soften your words, making space for more meaningful connections. One of the most challenging aspects of this alignment is that it can cause miscommunications or misunderstandings. When Mercury is influenced by Saturn's restrictive energy, there's a tendency to interpret things in a more rigid or negative light, making it harder to see the positive intentions behind someone's words. In these moments, it's helpful to practice patience. If something seems off or misaligned, take a step back, ask clarifying questions, and avoid jumping to conclusions. Remember, communication is a two-way street, and it's easy to get caught up in the tension without giving others the benefit of the doubt. Asking for clarification can go a long way in avoiding conflict and fostering better understanding. Despite these challenges, the alignment of Mercury with Jupiter and Saturn also offers opportunities for growth. By being mindful of how we communicate, we can use these tense aspects to refine our expression and strengthen our connections. For example, when you feel the urge to speak impulsively, take a moment to breathe, center yourself, and decide whether this is the right time for a deep or meaningful conversation. Conversely, if you feel yourself becoming overly critical or withdrawn, take note of your internal dialogue and adjust accordingly. These planetary influences give us a chance to grow in how we relate to others, enhancing our communication skills and deepening our connections with those around us. As Christmas 2024 unfolds with its intense cosmic influences, the speaker calls for a shift in focus towards shared spiritual unity and positivity. In times of heightened tension and emotional energy, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the cosmic shifts, but the speaker encourages us to remember the profound impact we have on the world around us. The power of our thoughts, words, and emotions cannot be underestimated. They ripple outward, influencing not only our immediate surroundings but also the collective energy of the planet. In essence, we are all connected, and our individual vibrations contribute to the larger cosmic tapestry. So instead of being swept up in the chaos, we are invited to consciously choose to focus on the positive and unite in spiritual harmony. This is where astrology offers us valuable insight. The moon's position, the aspects between planets, and the overall energy of the zodiac influence our internal worlds, but they don't control us. Our power lies in how we respond to these influences. The speaker urges us to tap into our inner strength and use the tools of self-awareness and intentionality to guide our thoughts and actions. Whether it's through meditation, positive affirmations, or simply pausing to reflect on our emotional states, we can direct the flow of energy in a more positive direction. This conscious effort to cultivate positivity is not just for personal benefit. It's a collective effort that can impact the global energy. In the midst of chaotic planetary aspects, it's important to remember that our collective consciousness is a powerful force. When we come together with a shared intention, whether it's for peace, healing, or love, we can create a ripple effect that transcends individual challenges. Imagine a world where people focus on what unites them instead of what divides them. When we align ourselves with higher vibrations such as love, compassion, and understanding, we create a harmonious flow that benefits everyone. It may seem like a small effort, but the speaker reminds us that every positive thought, every kind word, and every empathetic emotion contributes to the greater good. Of course, focusing on positivity doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties we face. The speaker emphasizes that it's about finding balance. Acknowledging our emotions and challenges is important, but it's equally crucial to choose where we direct our energy. For example, during family gatherings, instead of getting caught up in debates or conflicts, the speaker encourages us to focus on shared spiritual unity. This might mean engaging in conversations that promote growth, discussing ideas that inspire, or simply enjoying the presence of loved ones. It's about cultivating an atmosphere of peace, joy, and connection, regardless of the cosmic chaos happening around us. By embracing spiritual unity and focusing on the positive, we not only enhance our own lives but also contribute to the collective healing of the world. The speaker reminds us that the energy we put out into the world is contagious. In times of uncertainty or tension, we can choose to be beacons of light. Our thoughts and words can shift the energy around us, creating an environment where love and peace thrive. As we move through these challenging cosmic times, the speaker encourages us to lean into our shared humanity, choosing positivity, spiritual connection, and unity to transform the energy of the planet. Christmas 2024 presents a unique opportunity for spiritual evolution, as the cosmic energies align in a way that encourages profound growth and transformation. The planetary aspects, with their intricate interactions, create an environment ripe for change. Just as the seasons shift, so too can our inner worlds, allowing us to evolve in ways we may not have expected. These cosmic influences are like a spiritual invitation, urging us to step into a new phase of self-awareness and personal development. It's a reminder that even in challenging times, we are always moving forward on our spiritual paths, evolving toward a higher version of ourselves. One of the most powerful aspects of this transformative period is the alignment of Pluto, the planet of deep transformation, with other powerful celestial bodies. Pluto's influence brings with it an invitation to shed old patterns, beliefs, and attachments that no longer serve us. This is a time to let go of outdated ways of thinking and being, making space for new growth. Just as a caterpillar must go through a process of metamorphosis to become a butterfly, we too are being called to embrace change, knowing that it's a necessary step toward our own spiritual evolution. This cosmic invitation requires us to trust the process, even if it feels uncomfortable or uncertain at times. As these transformative energies unfold, it's important to remember that growth often comes with a sense of discomfort or challenge. We may be confronted with aspects of ourselves that need healing or transformation. But instead of resisting, the speaker encourages us to embrace these moments as opportunities for growth. Change is not always easy, but it is essential for spiritual advancement. The planets are encouraging us to confront our inner truths, face our fears, and step into our power. It's in this process of facing our deepest truths that we unlock the potential for a brighter, more fulfilled future. Moreover, these transformative aspects are not only personal, they have a collective impact. As individuals evolve spiritually, the collective consciousness is also shifting. The more we align with higher frequencies of love, peace, and healing, the more we contribute to the collective energy of the planet. This moment is a chance for humanity as a whole to step into a new phase of spiritual awareness, where the focus is on unity, compassion, and global healing. By embracing the transformative energies of this time, we are not only changing ourselves but also helping to shape the future of the world. Ultimately, this cosmic moment offers us a powerful opportunity for growth and change, but it requires us to be active participants in our own evolution. It's not enough to wait for transformation to happen. This is a time to take intentional steps towards spiritual awakening. Whether it's through meditation, self-reflection, or taking conscious action in the world, we are called to engage fully with the energies around us. By doing so, we can harness the transformative power of the planets to create a future that is aligned with our highest potential, both individually and collectively. As we absorb all this knowledge, it's essential to remember that true transformation starts from within. The cosmic energies of Christmas 2024 offer us a unique chance for spiritual evolution, and by applying these insights to our lives, we can create a reality more aligned with our deepest desires. But now it's your turn to act. What steps are you ready to take toward your own spiritual evolution? Share your reflections and plans in the comments. And if you're ready to continue this journey of self-awareness and transformation, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss any updates on how cosmic energies can impact your life. Together, we can explore these powerful influences and create a brighter future. See you next time.